Coding Made Easy.
So what's up everybody, this is Peter aka Coding Made Easy coming to you guys with your fourth Python Made Easy tutorial. So the last three tutorials were kind of long, and so I'm going to treat you guys to a fairly short tutorial. So in this tutorial we're just going to be learning about user input. Now to do user input is very simple, right? And so you can learn about user input and then just exit the video if you want. But I'm going to do an example. We're going to build a little mini basic calculator and with the user input. And so it'll be our first application that we're actually going to build. But the concept of getting user input is very simple. So this is how we get user input. So we want to store the user's input in a variable so we can reuse it, right? So what we're just going to do is we're just going to say first thing we're just going to say we'll call it user input. Simple. And all we have to do to get the user input is just use input like that. And we have to use the parentheses like this. And we'll learn about why we use these, but this is essentially a function that we are calling. So if we just do F5, we see nothing there, and it's asking for something, and we get it, and it says the process exited. So let us actually do something. Let's actually display the input that we inputted. So we're gonna say my name is Peter. And as you can see, that user input, the input that I put in got stored inside this variable, and we printed what I wrote. Simple enough. But with user input, for what we want to do is we want to prompt the user to know what they're inputting. So based on the knowledge we have now, we can do this. Please enter some text so the user knows what to do. Because if they were to just get your application, they might not know what to do. They might not know that they have to type in something. So we say, please enter some text. Cool. And then yeah, we'll display the text. Your text was, and then we put user input. Okay. So please enter some text. This is my text. And your text was, this is my text. Cool. But what if I could make this code shorter by combining these two things into one line? Well, the input function allows us to pass in the text that we want, the prompt text that we want to tell the user. So inside here, this is going to be displayed before it asks for the text. So it's going to be essentially the same thing as we just did. So if we rerun this rerun this code, it will say please enter some text, and then after this it's going to ask for our user input. So let's say user input, sure, and your text was user input. So that's simple. That's how you get your input inside Python. Now there's a problem. If we want to, if we do user input and we say input, please enter a number, because we want to store a number, and then we say user input plus 10. So I'm going to input the number, sorry about that, I'm going to input the value 15. Oh, we got an error, it crashed. The reason why it crashes, our user input is automatically considered a string, and we have to convert it to an integer, right? Because it considers the user input a string. So how do we do that? Well, it's really simple. All we're going to do is we're just going to put int, and this basically says convert or cast our user input and make it an integer. And we'll learn about the different numerical types later on, but we're just going to say convert this into an integer. So if we run this again, we enter a number, sorry about that, we enter a number 15, and as you can see, the value shown is 25 because it considers it an integer now. Simple. Okay, so that is it for the user input side. Now, if you guys want to stay, back and actually, you know what? I'll end the tutorial there, and in the next tutorial, we'll use this knowledge that we've gained right now, and we'll build a little calculator. So that's it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe, and bye for now.